Hi students, today we are going to learn Raymond Williams' Advertising the Magic System. I have already started this essay. Now actually we are in the last section of this essay, and as I said in my previous class, this essay is divided into 5 sections under different 5 headings. The first starts with the first heading is system. So that is the first section of the essay. System. It starts with system. It starts with actually history, not system, sorry. It starts with history, and second section is development, and the third is transformation, fourth one is advertising in power, and the last one is the system. So last one is the system. The title of the essay is Advertising the Magic System. And here in this essay, Raymond Williams, he actually criticized that advertisements that that affects the culture of people, and he accuses advertisements and he condemns advertisements, saying that it actually corrupts a culture. So advertising actually in ancient and medieval times was primitive when measured by the present day standards. Egypt and Greece merchants hired town criers. Advertising reaches people through various forms of mass communication, which include newspapers, magazines, television, radio, internet, etc. And advertising started to use later, that is, this is in second section, started to use human emotions and tensions. If you see, earlier advertisements were purely classified types. They are just for to inform the audience. But later the change was, we started to use human emotions and tensions. And it advertising confuses the real cultural values by misdirecting the masses through persuasive communication instead of informational communication. And critics like Huxley, Russell, Lewis and Thompson, they all ridiculed these absurdities that are a little bit prominent in advertisements. And this paved way for the formation of a code of standards. And now we'll move into the fourth section, advertising in power. So this is the fourth section of the essay. So as I said, first starts with the history, second development, third transformation, fourth section is titled Advertising in Power. So see here in this section, all countries, that is after the interwars, they faced a financial crisis. That is, after World Wars, all countries, they face a financial crisis, and they have to derive their income only from ads. So every industry started to advertise extensively, and the 3 leading categories were identified and focused, and that was production, distribution, and market control. And after the depression, the depression was to control the market prices. So the cartel system was introduced, and that they tried to control the tariffs and the prices that was fixed by the manufacturers. So the export advertising also gradually started to expand. And if you see, the biggest advertising campaign that was noticed during the period was by the Imperial Tobacco Company. You will be familiar with this ITC company. See, Imperial Tobacco Company, that is ITC. That was the biggest advertising campaign that was noticed during late 18th century. And that is to resist, actually it was started to resist American competition. So world's record to print the most costly, colossal and convincing advertisement of 4 pages came in an evening newspaper called titled The Star by a British tobacco advertiser. So the American firms retaliated with larger advertisements of their own, and this was the first major example of a new advertising situation. And if you see, from the 18th century, certain shops had been recognized as collecting agencies for advertisements. So that is on behalf of newspapers. So So later this system extended. Individual agents started to buy spaces in newspapers, then sold it to advertisers. And this kind of space selling or space brokerage led to a growth of agencies. So this is how this newspaper advertising agency started to come up. That is, individual agents, they started to buy spaces in newspapers. And then they will sell those spaces to advertisers. And this type of space selling, or it is also known as space brokerage, that actually led to the growth of agencies, advertising agencies. And later these agencies changed their functions by offering service and advice to manufacturers. And finally, the modern system which we have now, it emerged. Newspapers had their own advertising managers. So now if you go to any newspaper agency, they have their own advertising managers, and various bodies like, newspaper office, or they have a separate division now. Apart from newspapers and posters, the emergence of new media also supported and enhanced the expansion of advertisement. Again, the crowned heads were used, jingles were used, and from selling products, they started to sell people and parties. Celebrities and film actors were used to speak for the products as we have today. So now we are in the last section of the essay, and let me go to the previous slide. Let us have a short recap of this fourth section titled Advertising in Power. So ads had come to power, and they are at the center of the economy. Newspapers derive half their income from advertising. Three leading categories were identified and focused, and the three leading categories were production, distribution, and market control. So in the advertisement, these three categories were identified. And next, cartel system was introduced to control market prices. Cartel system is a system to control the price. Now it has become the center of our life. Advertisement has become the center of our life. It has become indispensable. Newspaper, advertisements, those days, advertisements. This is also, refresh yourself with a delicious Coca-Cola. So see the words that are used in the advertisement. Refresh yourself with a delicious Coca-Cola. Malta Vita, the perfect food. So this is the promise that we get in this advertisement. Malta Vita is the perfect food. So now we are moving on to the last section of this essay, the system. And in the last 100 years, advertising has developed into a major part of capitalist business organization. Today, our television service, all our newspapers and periodicals could not exist without ads. So this is the situation today. Our television or newspapers, they cannot exist or they cannot run their business without advertisements. And therefore, these advertisements these days, they are involved with the teaching of social and personal values. So even, the recent issue regarding the Spanish advertisements, so they now involved with the teaching of social and personal values. So it is also rapidly entering the world of politics. And if you see, advertising is it is also, in a sense, the official art of a modern capitalist society. Now, from selling goods and services, and has become involved with the teaching of social and personal values. If we were sensibly materialist in the part of our living in which we use things, we should find most advertising to be of an insane irrelevance. So today, if you watch advertisement critically, you will find most of the advertisements are insane or irrelevant to our culture. For example, beer would be enough for us, just a beer, that would be enough for us without additional promise that in drinking it we show ourselves to be manly, young in heart, etc. I believe you understand. See, beer would be enough for us without any additional promise that if you drink this you will be young or manly. And washing machine would be a useful machine just to wash clothes, rather than an indication that we are forward looking, or if you use this tile you will become an object of envy to your neighbors. So all these promises make us buy things. But if these if these associations like selling beer or washing machines, some of the evidence suggests, it is clear that we have a cultural pattern in which the objects are not enough, but it must be validated. So just the objects are not enough. If they are just going to talk about the objects, that is not enough for the viewers. So that has to be connected with some fantasy or association with social and personal meanings, which in a different cultural pattern might be more more accepted, will be more accepted by the public. So the short description of the pattern we have is magic. So that is why we call this advertising magic, because they both, magician and advertising agencies, they both use the same tricks. So this is advertising is a magic, a highly organized and professional system of magical inducements and satisfactions. So man has become only a consumer. He is not a user anymore. So what is the difference? You must know the difference between a user and a consumer. So one who consumes, whether we go to a supermarket and we buy things without knowing or without thinking of whether I need this product. So who is a user? User is one who knows, I need this product, yes, I have to buy this. So that is the basic difference between a user and a consumer. So man is not a user anymore. He is only a consumer. And a capitalist society, what they do is, they produce a large quantity of products and they compel us to buy. So production is not according to the demand. What Raymond Williams says, or what he emphasizes, the point is, production should be according to the demand of the society. If the society demands for the product or for the change, market must produce, or it should produce.